when they call something an opening catastrophe, they mean they lose some strategic or tactical stuff, which is quite minor. Let's say Ariane loses a pawn, and then uh, he's very miserable for that fact, and he almost wants to resign, because on that level the mistakes are very minor. If somebody loses a tempo in the opening, that's a big deal. If they create a non-necessary weakness, or lose some minor pawn on a2 or h7, they already feel in big trouble. Okay, but that has nothing to do with the level of playing of just normal people who usually play, let's say, from 1600 to 2200. I think that's approximately the level of my audience, so that's where I'm aiming and shooting at. Okay, so my games are much more understandable and appropriate to this level. And of course, the third reason is that since I personally have played those games, I understand them much deeper and more thoroughly than even if I annotate a game between Karpov and Kasparov. That's sometimes beyond the level of my comprehension, and let alone the level of comprehension of 1800 player. So every player usually knows his own games the best. He knows why he did certain things and he did not do some other things, etc. So with all that in mind, let me show you my recent game that I was basically blatantly crushed by an experienced grandmaster, Alex Kundin. He is a former twice world youth champion under 14 and 16. So let us start, and e4. Okay, that move has already surprised me because I've prepared to d4. Okay, so misshooting on my opening preparation is, let's say, mistake number one. So I was afraid to go into my usual stuff of Sicilian, c5, etc. So instead, I thought for about 5-10 minutes and decided to play something out of the box and to divert from my opponent's possible opening preparation, because I was afraid that he had prepared something not dangerous for me, while I was very unprepared for that. So I decided to play the Scandinavian defense, which I've played a few times in my life with intermediate success. So well, standard theory so far, nothing interesting. Now bishop c4. The more standard move is knight f3, but bishop c4 is an option, of course, as well. White wants to retain the option of developing this knight to e2 and not only to f3. Okay, knight c6, one of the possible continuation for black here. The other moves are bishop g4 or preferably c6. I think there is also g6, but I don't like that move before developing some additional pieces, because I mean g6, there could be some problem with that, and knight goes to e5 could be a bit unpleasant for black. So knight c6 is one of the options. It's theory, nothing interesting so far. And now d5. That move caught me by surprise. Actually, I've never encountered that move and didn't even think it was possible. Once, I think something like 15 years ago, I had a game against Grandmaster Emil Sutovsky. Now he's 2650. Then he was about 26 100, which is just as good, and he played 92. I played this. This is quite standard theory, quite interesting variation. Despite having those two isolated and weak pawns, due to the pressure along the d-file after the long castle, the position is not clearly in white's favor. I mean, black has its counter chances, so the game went something like that now.